Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Keenan Lambert, and in this video we are here in Oakland, California. Definitely on the wrong side of San Francisco Bay. We're definitely gonna have some fun here. We're gonna get a sense of what makes this place different. Here we go.
2022 short. Rude boy, bitch, better have two hearts. Pimp C #2, boy. Underground king. Pussy, you know what I mean. Kicking shit forever, nigga, like I'm Chuck Norris. West Coast, I was looking for a new forest. I'm one deep sliding, ghost riding, open two doors. It's a brandy Willaloo with an E40. Hold your heads in the fed. I know it's cold and lonely. Send a sheet to Latonia if they read.
Oakland has traditionally been a little bit different from San Francisco. Oakland has been sort of the more affordable side of the bay.
You want to see affordability going wrong?
Before I get out of here, let me show you guys the hotel room that I stayed in. Probably the worst hotel in Oakland. You know, when I got in here, the first thing that greeted me was a big old roach. We had a little confrontation and I sent him on to roach heaven.
See this dirty old nasty creepy carpet? How much for you to go barefoot on it?
Never again. Never again will I not read the reviews. I paid for it. I was frightened.
And this poor old AC. In the comments below, let me know how many of you would have refused to stay here.
Never again.
Come with the cheese like macaroni. I'm like Frank Sinatra, my cronies be mobsters. Imposters, we put them in a box like pastas. Hey, you are not us, yo, the gangster boxed up. The dub club, nigga, like La Castra Nostra. We are not gang, cause the cops can lock us.
You know, I'm just a little bit curious. What makes it so livable living in these public parks, public areas? Is it just where they won't be bothered? Is it because, you know, maybe they might have a little shelter from the bridges and there's a guy sleeping underneath a tree? I don't know. You know, the Bay, just like everywhere else in the United States, is getting super expensive and it's super unlivable for the urban middle. So what happens is the cities become a place of really poor people and then folks that are maybe upper middle or wealthy. You know what, actually on a lighter note, here walking around or running around this bay or this little lake, you got all the baddies that care about their fitness. Amen, God bless them. On the other hand, despite strong social policy, you still see those social ills affecting the community here. You still see high drug use. You still see massive amounts of homelessness. You still see folks underemployed. Why is that? Is that the fault of the government, or is that the fault of the corporations? Or is it somewhere in between?
When I woke up just this morning, felt a vibe. It was saying the world. Stepped outside, breeze was blowing, and I heard the birds.
Asian migration here to the West Coast has been a thing for centuries. When you consider that California was actually once a part of the Mexican territory under Spain, Filipinos were actually coming to this side for purposes of trade as well as Chinese folks. You know, during the 90s, or rather during the 80s, a lot of waterfronts were somewhat abandoned in urban areas in the United States, Canada, etc. But as urban renewal started to kick in during the early and mid 90s, Areas along the waterfront started to see a lot of distilleries pop up, bars, restaurants, etc., really taking advantage of the waterfront. And that's what we're seeing here in Oakland as well. The harbor area is renewed. It's beautiful. See? So add those breweries, restaurants, the Central American flair, Asian flair, a little bit of Southern touch, then you've got Oakland's waterfront. I'm thoroughly tired of talking. Let's go get some food. You guys know how we do it. Let's go.
I cannot stand the way you look at me. You got me reaching for something more. And please forgive me, I can hardly breathe. And now you got me painting roses on the bedroom floor. And Mr. Hazel eyes, Mr. Golden skies, you don't see what you're doing to me.
You know, I haven't had soul food, American soul food, in a long time, so I'm looking forward to busting this down real quick. I'm excited.
Pork ribs and brisket is the main action, with Big Mac, cornbread, and candy yams.
Filming after this is going to be impossible. Impossible.
This food here is amazing. Something that I've noticed is that with American soul food, there's a lot of emphasis that's placed within the sides, as opposed to Caribbean food where much of the emphasis goes into the protein and the flavor within that protein, and that sort of radiating throughout the dish.
See, right now, the way how I feel, I could just find like a nice little patch of grass to lay down and fall asleep in. Whew! I just hitting, uh-oh. About to look real homeless. Uh-oh. Ah, yes.
Despite it being rich in history, the city of Oakland has gone through the indignity of losing its sports teams. For 50 years, Oakland Alameda County Coliseum served as a centerpiece for sports in Oakland. Millions of Raiders and A's fans packed into the Coliseum, along with Warriors fans packing into the adjoining arena, creating one of the most rabid sports environments ever seen in the United States. And then the sporting thing became all about luxury boxes and amenities that have nothing to do with the game, with the city unwilling to bend to the will of the owners. This is the end of sports in Oakland.
So Jack London was a sailor, writer, gold miner, and when he was in Alaska gold mining and catching scurvy, he actually wintered in a cabin just like this.
Imagine leaving the fairly moderate weather of the bay to go to extreme cold for the winter. It takes determination and a little bit of madness to survive in such an environment.
You know, I'm sure I could probably live in something like that. The only problem I would have is no running water.
Like many men of his time, Jack London suffered from alcoholism. He was a regular here, and eventually it would end him.
Scurvy actually comes from a vitamin C deficiency. One of the first signs of scurvy is redness in your gums just around your teeth, right? And if it's actually left untreated, you'll start to lose teeth. After that, it could eventually cause infection, then you'll die. Back in the olden days when folks were going long voyages, that's why they were not making it, essentially because their nutrition wasn't good enough. A lot of senior citizens who may live by themselves and aren't getting a well-balanced nutrition they'll develop scurvy, or people who are living on the streets. Of course, here in Oakland, just like in San Francisco, you have plenty of people that are living on the streets. Maybe we can go and talk to some of them. We'll see. Despite being homeless at one point herself, the current mayor of Oakland actually ordered a clearance of the homeless encampments here. Here you see that there is one. Not as expansive as others, but you have one here.
Oakland historically has very little housing shelter space. So instead, their under-domiciled residents live in hot squalor on the streets with the rats.
You know, you guys might not have been able to see, however, the people here, you know, they have cell phones, working on their bicycles. They seem pretty coherent. Not like some of the bombed out folks that are taking drugs and so forth. I mean, I'm sure there might be, you know, maybe some drugs that are in that process, but they seem relatively composed, relatively clean as well. I don't know if there's some public facilities that allow them to be able to take showers, etc. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and the next one. Peace out.
Boy at the opera, no side tone, acres home, I got go bank to the bank, can't shit stop us. Give it to them proper, serve them just like a proctor. When I'm done with them, they gon' have to call a doctor. T-Tone, I'm the 2023